week by week, I was seeing a lot of improvements. Even small improvements were making a big difference. It is a bit of a struggle. Like, it's pretty hard to go through that initial stage of the healing, but to have your guys' support, and you know exactly, what some symptoms you get and how you feel. Yeah, it's great to have a support. Otherwise, I feel like if I just read the book myself, I wouldn't have got to where I am today. So bowel movements, going to about 2 to 3 times a day. It's completely formed, no blood at all, no mucus, everything feels healed. I've had colitis for almost 10 years, so I just think, why didn't I start this earlier?
Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today is testimonial time. I'm joined by Harry. Welcome to the channel.
Thanks, Shukul. Thanks for having me.
Alright, so what we're going to do today is just talk about Harry's story and how he's able to heal colitis on the 6-month colitis and Crohn's program that we run. And we'll just start off, Harry, by you explaining a little bit about your history, like how you found out you got colitis and some of the different things that you did before you found us.
Yeah. So I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in 2008. Originally, I went to my GP just for a checkup. I was getting a little bit of bleeding and diarrhea as well. And he had a look and he said, oh, most likely you've got hemorrhoids. So he prescribed me with a medication for hemorrhoids. I took that for about, a couple of weeks. It made no difference. Still my symptoms were there. I wasn't feeling the best. So from there, he kind of recommended I go see a gastroenterologist. So from there, I went and saw the gastro. He had a look with a camera and did a checkup, and he diagnosed me with ulcerative colitis. Now, at that time, I had no idea what ulcerative colitis was. I was really confused, started doing some research to find out a little bit about, what I've got and what the condition is. And the first thing he said, there's nothing you can do for your condition. You're stuck with it pretty much forever. And all you can do is manage the symptoms by taking a lot of medication, which I wasn't really happy about, obviously. I felt pretty upset about, what's going on. So I just started taking the anti-inflammatory medication. Now, taking that for the first few weeks, I started feeling a little bit better. So I just kept taking that. And he said pretty much you have to keep taking it until you feel like your body's in remission. Took that for a few years. I was always up and down. So I had a little bit of the symptoms always come and go. I had flare-ups maybe about 2-3 times a year. And what we used to do was just up the dose of the medication every time I had a flare-up. And he also started prescribing me enemas, which was pretty bad to use. As most people with ulcerative colitis will know, it's really uncomfortable to use. So I had to use that at times as well. So taking that for so many years now down the track, always up and down. And then about a year ago, my symptoms just started getting worse. I just felt like the medication stopped working pretty much, the anti-inflammatory. Went to see my gastro again. He had a look and he said pretty much your colitis is getting worse. So originally when I had the colitis, it was only about a quarter of the colon. Now it's spread to about almost the whole way of the colon. And he said it's pretty severe as well. So the next option is to take some steroids. After doing a bit of research about the steroids, it had pretty bad side effects, but pretty much I had no other options. So that's the only thing I could take. I took it as you would normally do. In about a month, I started feeling better. I'm like, okay, it feels good. The symptoms started going away. And then he told me to take it for another 2 months so that the symptoms will get even better. But what happens is the second month, it completely stopped working. Symptoms got worse. I started getting all the side effects like the puffy face, started feeling nauseous all the time. The colitis symptoms started getting worse. And I said, this is not helping me anymore. I went back to see him. He said, all right, this can normally happen. The next option is to get on immune suppressants. After doing a bit of research about immune suppressants, I said, no way, I'm not going to take this. So
That's one of our favorites at High Cover,
Yeah.
isn't it? Oh,
I said, no, I'm not taking that medication. I got to start doing some research and find out a little bit about different things. So the first thing I found was a naturopath, to go see a naturopath. So from there, I went to see her. She had a look and prescribed me some different natural herbs to take. And she said the anti-inflammatories, and it's going to, manage my symptoms and make me feel better. and also to change my diet. Now, the diet she told me to start doing was a specific carbohydrate diet, which is pretty much based on eating a lot of meat, not much fruits and vegetables, and obviously very low carbs. So no rice, no potatoes, and any other starchy vegetables. I started doing that for about 6 months. My symptoms weren't really getting better. For a day or two, I'll feel a little bit better, then they would come back again. Went to see my gastro again because I felt like the naturopath wasn't doing much for me. He did another colonoscopy, which was my third colonoscopy, and he said, your symptoms are actually getting worse. And I thought the diet was actually working for me, but definitely wasn't. He said I definitely have to start taking immune suppressants. Again, I didn't want to take them. Started doing some research online. So I started looking at a lot of different options. Obviously, when you jump online, there's so many different things that you can do. Different diets, people suggesting to eat meat to make the inflammation go down. Some people talking about, having a vegan diet. After doing a lot of research, I found you guys, came across High Carb Health on YouTube. And pretty much from there, I contacted you guys. And Shamiz got in touch with me. We had the first initial consultation. Had a chat to him and then found out a little bit more about what you guys do and what he went through to heal himself and how he's been healed for such a long time. Honestly, I was really convinced compared to all the other options that were out there, and I decided to start the program, and yeah, I'm really glad I did.
Okay, so you joined the program and obviously you tried a lot of things, obviously, even a very high proportion of your calories coming from animal foods, and the results showed that you got worse. And so shifting over to the high carb health program or the whole food plant-based diet, how did you find the program, and also what are some of the things that you learned about your body when you went through it?
So initially, I started reading the book by Dr. David Klein. And that's what you guys suggested. I mean, the most important is first, you've got to understand what your body can do and how it can heal, and how the natural healing process all goes. Pretty much, I learned a little bit about that whole thing, and then pretty much started the program from there. So initially, when I started, the detox symptoms, it took me about 2 weeks to start detoxing. I detoxed pretty fast, and the symptoms were pretty bad initially when it started.
Because you didn't follow our advice.
Yeah. Pretty much what I did was I stopped all of my medications straight away. I didn't taper them and pretty much just got into the heavy detox. So a lot of juicing, not combining the fruits properly as well, which kind of caused more of the detox. And what happened is because of the rapid detox, I lost a lot of sodium because of obviously more visits to the bathroom. Ended up in hospital with very low salt in my body. Had to go on the drip. And what happened was in the hospital, a lot of doctors came in and they said, you've got ulcerative colitis. What medication are you taking? I said, I've stopped all my medications, which they weren't happy about. So they recommended I go back on steroids, and I should stay in hospital to go on the IV drip for steroids. They brought in specialists to try to convince me, and I said, no, I'm not taking it. I'm only here for the sodium to get back up in my blood, and then I'm out of here. So they didn't want to let me go out of hospital, but once my sodium was back up to the normal level, I pretty much signed myself out and left the hospital and continued my healing, and obviously followed more of your guys' advice from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so talk about how your body changed. Like, you went through those symptoms, obviously, that aren't very pleasant, are they? But, what were the changes you saw after you went through that really kind of rapid initial stage? That was way too quick. But anyway, that's what happened. What did you see in the body as you got better?
Yeah, so what happened first, I was going to the bathroom about up to 15 times a day initially. The first improvements I started seeing was about 2 to 3 months into the program. It started decreasing. So what was happening was, instead of going about 10 to 15 times, it reduced to about 8 times a day. So not getting as many bowel movements a day. And also it started forming because initially the bowel movements were very loose, and there was a bit of blood and mucus in there. There was still a little bit of bleeding and mucus, but I wasn't going to the bathroom as many times. And over time, it started getting a little bit better. Week by week, I was seeing a lot of improvements. Even small improvements were making a big difference. And then it went down pretty much. It took about 5 months, and 5 months in, I felt like things were much better. And pretty much bowel movements went down to about 4 a day. And yeah, it started feeling much better after the detox.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned that time frame. A lot of people don't realize that it's not a quick fix when you're trying to heal colitis.
Yeah.
And it does take time. And I think we were talking about it earlier. It's so easy to understand why people quit, as they start. Like, imagine if you didn't have any support and you just read that book, and within a week you've stopped all your medications and you're detoxing that quickly. It would be pretty easy just to quit straight away, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I was sending you emails every 2-3 days and talking about my symptoms. I was asking if they were normal, and just asking you for advice all the time, just to make sure I'm on the right path. Because what you guys say is right. Like, you feel worse before you even feel any better. So you're gonna go through the hard times, but it's definitely worth being, getting so much better after that period. It is a bit of a struggle. Like, it's pretty hard to go through that initial stage of the healing, but to have your guys' support, and exactly what some symptoms you get and how you feel. It's great to have a support. Otherwise, I feel like if I just read the book myself, I wouldn't have got to where I am today without your support.
Yeah, fantastic. I think it is important to just mention that and how important it is, because if you haven't been through it, it's hard, and you have to kind of know what to expect. So talk about what your life is like now then.
Oh, life is great. So it's been about 9 months since the initial healing stage when I started with you guys. So bowel movements going to about 2 to 3 times a day. It's completely formed. No blood at all, no mucus. Everything feels healed. I'm still on a plant-based diet. Having about 3 to 4 meals a day, mostly fruit and fruit smoothies, because obviously they make you feel the best. Gives you a lot of energy through the day. And then 1 cooked meal sticking to the potatoes, the steamed veggies, the pumpkin. So life is really great. I've started going back to the gym as well. The past 3 months I've been going back to the gym. So it's been really good. I feel really energetic. And also initially, like, you do lose a lot of weight when you start because your body's detoxing. So I was almost about 70 kilos. I went down to about 52 kilos. So I lost a lot of weight. But what happened in the past 2 months, the weight's come back on. I put 10 kilos back on. And my body just feels so much better. And I'm off medication for the past 9 months.
Yeah, that's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Medication-free, symptom-free, healed.
Yeah, 100% healed now.
Yeah, and we've got some blood test results. Your CRP.
Yeah.
Just to quickly talk about that. The inflammation markers in your body.
Yeah.
How the change was.
Yeah.
And you had a funny little story about when you went to see the doctor about that as well. What did he say to you?
Yeah, so my CRP originally, because the limit's from 0 to 5. When I started the healing and when I had colitis, it was always over 10. So it was between 10 to 20. And obviously when they do your blood test, you can see the results for the past 5 blood tests that I had done within the past year or so.
Yeah.
So the last blood test I did was my CRP was 0. I can't remember, but it was under 1.
Yeah.
And you guys will see it in the blood test results as well. And the doctor saw it and he's like, wow, you're managing your ulcerative colitis very well. And you just keep taking your medication. Just keep doing what you're doing because your symptoms are so much better. White blood cells dropped as well, showing there's obviously no inflammation left in the body and the body's done its healing. All the results in the blood tests have gone back up to normal. Iron levels are back to normal. Everything's perfect pretty much in the blood test.
Yeah, and he was obviously very happy with that, and I'm sure you were too. All right, so just to finish off the interview, Harry, can you just maybe point out 1 or 2 pieces of advice that you might want to give someone who's watching this video?
Yeah. So as you guys know by now, I've had colitis for almost 10 years. So I just think, why didn't I start this earlier? Pretty much like the past 10 years wasn't an easy time for me. I went through a lot of ups and downs, going through different symptoms, trying to figure out what's actually going on with my body. I just wish I started this earlier. So, I mean, if I got diagnosed the first day, I should have started this if I knew about this. And got the guidance and support of you guys. But obviously I didn't know about it, so I just did what normally everyone does, started on medication and trust everything in doctors. But when doctors don't really know much about the disease, they think diet has nothing to do with it. As my GI told me a few times, there's nothing you can do with diet. It's just your body attacking itself, so your immune system attacking itself, which is obviously not true. And yeah, I mean, if anyone out there has colitis or Crohn's, I recommend, at least trying this diet. You need at least 3 to 6 months to try it to see the results, and it's definitely worth it. Like, I've got my life back. Thanks to you guys. Thanks for all the support. And yeah, I'll stick to this diet for lifetime and just keep doing what I'm doing, and stay, disease free.
Yeah. And it is a lifestyle change, so it's important to mention that as well.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a big lifestyle change. So diet is one part of it, what I've realized, but there's also a lot of other things you've got to look at. Like other important things is stress. So don't stress too much about things. Obviously that does affect your body, and especially with colitis, it is also related to stress. There's a lot of other things you've got to look at as well. Rest is very important during the healing stage, always staying hydrated. So there's a lot of things in the whole healing process other than diet as well.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, mate. Well, congratulations,
Thanks, Shukul.
man. We're so happy for you. We're so happy that you got your life back.
Yeah.
And Harry now has a life after colitis, and you can too if you want it. So you have to work for it. That's all.
That's right. Thanks to you guys. Thanks for all the support and guidance. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, contact High Carb Health. They're always there for support. And during that whole 6 months, anytime I had questions or inquiries or anything I wanted to know about my symptoms, they were always there. So I couldn't have done it without you guys, honestly.
Oh, we appreciate that. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much. That's the end of this video. We appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, you can more than welcome to list them in the comments there below, and I'll try and get to them when I can. Otherwise, you can fill in the health survey on our website for a free 30-minute consultation. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. See ya.